All right, so the question is, what are blocks, right? So if I go to structure and I look at blocks, blocks are just chunks of content that are going to sit within a region on the page. So we've been doing views, which is a whole page, right? The blog view was show me a list of all the blogs on here, and then I can add blocks to that page. So I can add more content. So, for example, the main menu is a block that's pre-built, and it comes with Drupal. So obviously, you're telling it appear in the main menu section. Login block is the area where you're going to log in, put your content. So each of these blocks can appear in one of these regions. So this is really about getting the verbiage down, right? So that you've got these regions on the page. And if I close this, I'll show you the regions, kind of the layout here of the regions. If I go home. So, and actually you can actually even see it if I go to inspect element. So here's content. So that's a block. The content, I'm sorry, that's a region of the page. Header, that's a region. So it allows me to put stuff in there. I could actually move my login info up here, and I could have name and password in my header region, as opposed to down here at the bottom, which is where I've got my header, or where I've got my login block. My login block's not showing because I'm logged in, so it's smart enough to know. So that's how it's telling me. Even the page, the top of the page. So I've got these regions, and there's first sidebar, which is over here. When there's no content in that region, there's no blocks in that region, it's empty. It just collapses and lets the other regions kind of fill in. So you're not seeing on this page, you're not seeing second sidebar region, it's called, and first sidebar region, because I haven't put anything in there. So what I can do is, with a block, I guess I'm going to show you all of the content, or all the information about a block. So we'll make this one fancy block video. There's a couple things. I can make a view as a block, which is going to give me dynamic content. So I could say, all right, well, let's, and what I've done is actually I've made a block, which is down here. Just something to fill the void, not that. Bottom. I guess I don't have it, but you can see I've got view, 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 view. These are pages. But I could take this block, for example, events, or events upcoming, which is kind of interesting, and I could put it in my right sidebar. So that would be my second sidebar. And then what happens is you have to watch, because it pops away when you click, once you've set it. Recent posts and recent events. So I can configure this here, and I can say, well, actually I forgot to save it, so it's not appearing in any sidebar, but I'll put it in the second sidebar. And I can also tell it, look, in this, you can only appear in this block on this page. So what we did before, we did this with the most recent posts from the blog, and I wanted to just show like random posts from the blog, or popular posts is what the block is called. So I made a block called recent posts, and I put that only to show in my blog page. And so I'm going to do the same thing with home. I'm just going to go home, only the listed page, and I'm going to save this. Hopefully I didn't break it. Let's see here. Content, second sidebar, events upcoming. Great. So that's that views block. So now if I close this, I should get there it is. This popping up here. My styles are messed up because I've set styles. I need to get more specific about my styles. But here they are. Here are the most recent blog posts. I'm sorry, upcoming events is what it was. So now I've got this block, and I can move this anywhere else. And so in theory, I should be able to click on the blog, and that just shows the recent posts, which is what I told it to show in this page. So it's a way of controlling where this dynamic content goes. Here's the cool thing. There is some content. Is there a cool thing about this? Is Drupal development cool? If I go to blocks, I can add a block. And what I can do here is I can create an HTML block. I can just throw HTML on. You might remember I did this a couple weeks ago, but I can just type in content here, and I can put in styles. I can make my own divs. A good example is on the blog. It's about the author. So I've got a picture of the woman holding the 2 cats, and it has this content about her. So I'm going to make a div that holds all that content, and it's going to be something that doesn't go away. So it's content that's static, that can be changed, but it's not like easy to change. So you've got dynamic content, an article, a blog post, which real easy to create and delete those, right? Static blocks are a little tougher to do. Really good example are the footer on that. Are those 4 blocks on the footer with a maroon background? You can create all that in HTML. That content's not going to change. You're not going to be worrying about the user having to go in there and change that. You got to find a way to make some money from this deal. So they got to come back and hire you to change those blocks. Our phone number changed, $100. So that's where you would create this footer. And then, of course, you would just style it. You just put the divs in and you give them the class you want. Call it footer 1, footer 2, footer 3, footer 4. Style each of the ones of those footers, and away you go. You put them in your style sheet. So that's a static block as opposed to a dynamic block. Make sense? Cool.